Cooper's almost 8. I've been
Mhm.
home with them every day of their lives.
Yeah.
There's probably, I mean, there's times where I went, like this past weekend, I was away for 2 days at a conference. So I was away from the kids. And then there's a couple of times like Katie and I've gone to Europe. We didn't have the kids, but I bet you it's less than 20 days over 8 years that I was away from the kids.
Yeah.
Maybe closer to 30. If I start thinking about like us going to Europe and stuff. So, but probably like a month out of 8 years. So that's pretty awesome,
Yeah.
And my big thing that I try to focus on is just, I know there's like key times to be around them. Like when they first come home from school and they're full of energy and stories and, running around and have been away from you all day. Like I want to be around for that, going to bed.
Yeah.
Like I'm, Katie kind of gets everybody ready for school. Like I have to just wake up before they leave and like put snacks in their backpack. That's about as functional as I am in the morning.
Yeah.
But I put them to bed. Right. And so to me, it's like, those are key times, like right when they come home, when they're going to bed, dinner, and then they don't want you around all the time, like they want to go do other things. They don't want to hang out with you for, 5 hours every evening. So it's just kind of making the most of those times. But yeah, man, like with the work stuff, it's just kind of knowing what season you're into. Like there's times to go hard, and there's times where you got to pull away. And that was like, I felt like I had to step back at the very end of last year, start of this year, to like have the energy to like go back to, going hard, and I know you have that too, where you're like, man, I need a vacation. I need to unplug, before you get burnout. So, but I was just really curious about your thoughts on that. Cause man, I heard so many people talk about that this weekend too. And, I just don't buy into this work-life balance thing.
I have a hard time with it. But I think like, I don't really care what, I guess I'm getting to a point in my life where like, if somebody else has great work-life balance and it's like awesome, that's great for them. I don't particularly care what they're doing. And I definitely don't want to like judge myself against how they're doing things and like, these people are spending tons of time with their kids and doing all the stuff. And maybe I'm not doing the same amount. Like you never see the full picture. And I just don't really care what other people do. Cause I do think it's like it's like you have to take care of your kids, obviously, and you have to take care of your relationships, and like you have to put effort into those things. But like, I also have my own goals that I want to achieve, and I think that there's kind of like, I enjoy working and I enjoy working a lot. And I've found like the more, especially as I've hired people and there's more like team and stuff, like I get a lot of energy from that. And so like, I need that stuff and I need to work to feel like I'm doing what I need to do in life. So like, you got to take, it's like, and maybe not everybody's wired that way, but like if I was like stopping myself from working all the time to just hang out, like it always sounds so bad when I'm saying this, but to like hang out with my kid. Like if I'm like, I really want to work and I'm like, okay, I need to stop working so I can sit on the couch and watch TV with my kid. Like, I don't know if that's the best use of time. Like I'd rather kind of work and like build something.
Sure.
But I think the key parts of time that you're talking about are big, because like sometimes your kids don't even notice that you're there, at least in my experience. Like I've got a 2-year-old, so there's plenty of times where he's not even aware that I'm like in the room, or he doesn't particularly want to hang out with me or whatever. But there are the times where he's like, when he'll come to my door and be like, daddy, like then I'll put everything down and go hang out with him, because I know that
100%.
That's important to him in that moment. So I think that maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's what you do, you just kind of notice those moments when it's like they want to spend time with you,
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Like I tell you, this is hard. And I did this last night, but I'm trying to remember who it is. The guy, I can't think of his name, but he's married. He's like a bajillionaire in his own right, but he's married to the lady that founded Spanx. And he's like a partial owner of like the Atlanta Hawks. Is that right? The basketball NBA team.
He owns something. He owns
something like that. Yeah, he owns a lot of stuff. But anyway, and he talked about like his big goal is just never say no to his kids when they want to do something. And like, I want my kids to see me build a thing, and I want when they understand that we have this property and they got to grow up here and in this house, and they, you know, the things that will, the experiences we'll get to have, the trips we'll get to go on, all that kind of stuff. Like, you know, I want them to see that and realize like, oh, I can do cool stuff. Like I can do whatever I want with my life. And like, so it's almost like that's become a big driving force for me, is like, how big can you go, just so like, you know, they feel like they can do those things. It doesn't have to be entrepreneurship, but like, you know,
Yeah.
kids are like, oh, I want to be an astronaut. Like I want my kids to actually freaking feel like they could do that if they wanted. And so
Yeah.
I feel like the best way to do that is like do something big.
Yeah.